Okay, in this problem, I need to see if there's anything that I can factor out with the number. I know I can factor out a 2 for sure, because they're both even. And also what I can factor out with my t's. And so after I kind of fiddled with it, and I divided 250 by 16, and it didn't go in evenly, and I divided them both by 4, and it didn't go in evenly. So the greatest common factor that I can divide out of these two terms is a 2t to the 4th. And I'm left with 8t to the 3rd plus, I don't remember, 125. All right, so can I factor this still? I can, because this is a perfect cube and this is a perfect cube. This is 2t cubed, this is 5 cubed, okay? So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to say, well, let's put a bracket around this. This is 2t to the 3rd plus 5 cubed, okay? And so now, remember, you have to remember the formula. This is like this. If I have a cubed plus b cubed, this equals a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. And I told you that ridiculous story in another video. Okay, so if I rewrite this, okay, I've got my 2t to the 4th. This is going to be 2t plus 5, right? Because my a and my b, I've got a and b. Now I'm going to square the first one, so that's 4t squared minus a times b, so 10t plus b squared, which is 25. Okay, so I just used this equation here to get my answer here. And then of course I've got the 2t to the 4th in the front. Those I know are tricky. Do your very best. Having that memorized is critical. I mean, you can't do it without it. All right, so moving on to the factor theorem. Let me ask you this question. So, is 7 a factor of 24? No, it's not. Okay, if I did this long division, 7 goes into 24 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. I'm left with 3. So my remainder is 3. Okay, so 7 goes into 24 3 times with a remainder of 3. If something has a remainder, it means it doesn't go in exactly. You can't divide 24 by 7. And that's the same idea with the factor theorem. All right. So the factor theorem says, in math language, a polynomial f of x has a factor x minus k if and only if f of k equals 0. Okay, so in other words, you divide it, if there's no remainder, then it's a factor. Just like you divide 24 by 6, if you divide it and there's no remainder, then it's a factor. So if I divide 24 by 6, I get 4, there's no remainder, so it's a factor. All right, so let's look at a couple of examples. So here I have, determine whether x minus 2 is a factor of x squared plus 2x minus 4. All right, so I'm going to use synthetic division to figure this out. So x minus 2, that means I have a 2. Remember, it's the opposite of what you think it should be. Okay, I've got a 1, a 2, and a negative 4. Okay, drop the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add those together and get 4. 2 times 4 is 8, and this is 4, and that's my remainder. Okay, so the answer is no. X minus 2 is not a factor of x squared plus 2x minus 4. So let's look at this other one. Is x plus 5 a factor of this polynomial? Well, I'm going to use synthetic division again to find out. So I've got 3, 15, negative 1. You'll notice that I'm missing the x value. So I've got to put a 0 in there, and then 25. Okay, drop the 3. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. Add those together and get 0. Negative 5 times 0 is 0. Add these together, get negative 1. Negative 5 times negative 1 is 5. Add these together and get 5. And then negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. So my remainder is 0. So yes, x plus 5 is a factor of this polynomial right here. Pretty easy, I hope. All right, so let's look at, I think this is one I wanted, oh no. Well, you could try this one. If you want to pause and try this one, that's fine. The only difference between this and the ones I just did is that this one wants you to factor it completely. All right, so let's look. We want to know if x plus 3 is a factor of this. So I put in negative 3, and synthetic division, I've got 1, 3, a 0, right, for x squared. Oops, that doesn't look very good. 0, negative 1, negative 3. So I drop this down, that's a 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. This is a 0. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. Add these and I get a 0, a lot of zeros. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. That's a negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3. And my remainder is 0. So yes, this is a factor. And now they want us to factor it completely. So I need to look at what I've got left. I started with an x to the 4th. So now I've got x cubed. I don't have an x squared. I don't have an x, but I have a minus 1. So right now, since x plus 3 is a factor, this is what I have. But this is not factored completely. This is the difference of 2 cubes. So again, I have the a cubed minus b cubed equals a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. All right, so this is going to be x minus 1, x squared. Okay, AB is x times 1, so this is plus x. And then I have plus b squared, which is 1. So this factored completely is this answer right here. All right, that's it. That's what I have for your lesson. The rest of this is actually, okay, your homework is on big ideas this time. I know these Canvas assignments have been kind of hard, and it's hard to put them in, but this one's on big ideas, so hopefully this will be a little bit better. But let me know if you have any questions.